Jess, this crowd is absolutely insane. I'm bummed you're not here. I know you're a big Condors fan. Crowd's feeling really good, but what you would be bummed about is the score and the overall result of the game. It is 6-2 in the second period. Condors are getting clobbered. It was 5-0 after the first period, and the bad news, they've lost 2 fights. But let's focus on some good. It's the 25th anniversary of the Bakersfield Fog. Who the heck is that, as you're asking? Well, it's the old Bakersfield Condors. From 1995 to 1998, they were the Fog. We've actually got some pretty cool photos that we're going to show you here. This was tweeted out from the team way back in 1995. They actually changed their Twitter account to the Bakersfield Fog for the night. They used to play in the Western Hockey League. They played in the Convention Center. Mechanics Bake, not even a thing. Lots of stuff going on the ice right now, but 11 minutes to go in the second period. It is 6-2 Ontario Reign. Not great so far, but everybody's happy. Everybody's having a good time. There's more good news to come from this. Lots of sports were happening in Bakersfield today, not just the Condors. So let's get to all of that. And before we stretch too far away from this team, we're going to go to a former Condor. It's Tyler Benson, the former Condors left winger. He made his way up to the Edmonton Oilers, making his NHL debut on Thursday night. He becomes the 11th Condor to be called up in AHL history. And the best part, he was born and raised in Edmonton, growing up an Oilers fan. He led the team out onto the ice, and the team was fully behind the neighborhood kid, as they called him. He soaked up the moment entirely.
I mean, just standing there for the national anthems, looking around at the crowd, it was pretty unreal moment. And then you just look across. I mean, Patty Marleau, Joe Thornton, sort of two guys I grew up watching since day one. So it's a pretty cool moment. I'm not sure about a total, but I know I had about probably 20 family members, and my parents said they saw a lot of people that we knew just growing up playing hockey with.
The BC Baseball Renegades back on the diamond today after a 15-inning affair last night against El Camino. We pick it up in the 7th. Hunter Adams swinging a miss, but the ball gets away, and Will Reynolds comes around to score, making it a 4-3 game. On the bump, Benji Caganelli went 6 innings, allowing just 2 runs while striking out 8. BC picked up 2 runs in the 8th to give them some cushion, and it's all they needed. And after that 15-inning game, head coach Tim Payton loved the bounce back and is ready to get home.
Last night was a dogfight. Actually, you go 15 innings, and both teams are got to save pitching for the next 2 days, and they outlasted us last night, and I'm proud of our guys to bounce back and get this one today. I'd like to get home before the sun goes down. That'd be nice.
Get some sleep.
Yeah, get some sleep.
He'll need some sleep because they're back on the diamond tomorrow at 12:30. The Bakersfield boxing scene continues to grow, and with it, wins are coming left and right. Miguel Contreras and Alex De Luna, 2 homegrown fighters, pulled off massive wins in the Bakersfield Beat the Streets event on Saturday. The win makes Contreras, or Caveman as he's known, 10-0, and De Luna, or as he's known, Cheddar, 9-0. These fighters have been training since October, for the fight, and now with wins in hand, they will look towards the next opportunity. CSUB saw a whole lot of the CBU Lancers this week, but they probably wish they hadn't. The women hosted the Lancers here at home. CBU edged out a 55-53 win. Meanwhile, the men kept it close on the road, but still didn't have enough. They dropped the contest 74-69. Women are now 13-9, with the men dropping to 10-14. Both these teams will be off until next Thursday. The first ever SYC basketball tournament starts tomorrow. All 18 SYC schools will participate in the tournament over the course of the next week. Tomorrow, South will take on West in a girls game at 5 p.m., while Highland takes on Tehachapi, followed by Ridgeview and Golden Valley for the boys. Those games are at 2:30 and 5:30, and they will all be played at North High School. Oh, we were so close to a Condors goal right there. Just poked it right over the net, but that's all right. They're still down 6-2. I want to get back to watching the game here, Jess. I'm going to be honest with you. But it's 6-2. We're in the second. If it keeps like this, I might not stick around for post-game interviews. But we wish you were here, Jess, and not on the desk. I'll have full highlights at 11, post-game reaction, all that good stuff. For now, I'm Matt Lively. Mechanics Bank Arena. Back to you, Jess.
All right, Matt. Living the excitement through you. Well, a huge turnout for the monthly Veterans Honor Flight breakfast at the Elks Lodge off of the Garces Circle in downtown Bakersfield. One local woman recognized during the event for her helping design special clothes for the veterans and their families when they go on the honor flight trips.
I think you can't get involved enough in whatever way you choose, because these are the people that stress-free and take care of all of our needs while we're still at home. You know, we watch our little ones grow up. A lot of them don't. It's a main sacrifice.
The breakfast is typically held on the first Thursday of the month, but this month it was held today. Attendance to the breakfasts have been so large in recent months, they had to move from their previous dining hall to the Elks Club on H and 30th Streets. Well, when we return, a local woman telling 23 ABC her former roommate, now a doctor, left behind thousands of patient records at her residence. We'll tell you what our I-team discovered about it. The special edition of 23 ABC News will be right back. Welcome back. U.S. officials say a cruise ship with potentially ill passengers has docked in New Jersey. This as the coronavirus outbreak continues to grow. 41 new cases have been diagnosed on a cruise ship being held off of Japan, bringing the total to 61 so far. Hundreds of Americans on board that ship, with nearly a dozen of them testing positive for the virus. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has more on what's being done to stop the spread.
On Friday, planes carrying American evacuees land in California and Nebraska. The State Department chartered evacuation flights coming from Wuhan, China, the epicenter of the epidemic. The White House is working with Chinese officials to contain the spread, sending aid to China to stop the virus, despite China's foreign minister publicly criticizing the U.S. this week over its response.
World Health is working with them. CDC is working with them. I had a great conversation last night with President Xi. It's a tough situation. I think they're doing a very good job.
While the Department of Health and Human Services says,
while this is a serious health situation in China, the immediate risk of this virus to the American public remains low. And our goal is to keep it that way.
The scope of the spread worldwide. Sick at sea, nearly a dozen Americans now quarantined on the Diamond Princess cruise ship near Tokyo, Japan, after testing positive for the coronavirus. With conditions deteriorating on board, some 2,000 passengers are trapped in their rooms.
Nothing has changed. I mean, we're still in our cabins. A little scary to be on board, and the numbers just keep climbing.
And in this country, the first possible cases of coronavirus on board a ship docking in America. A Royal Caribbean cruise arriving in Bayonne, New Jersey, with some Chinese nationals on board. More than 24 passengers were isolated and tested. 4 were taken off the ship for further evaluation at a local hospital. All the other passengers were cleared.
So I just feel, for me, a little bit nervous.
Meanwhile, nearly 200 Americans remain quarantined at a military base in California. They've been there for almost 2 weeks, getting screened every 12 hours. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, Washington.
Allegations of a local doctor leaving thousands of patient records at a home in Kern County. 23 ABC's I-Team spoke to a woman who says her former roommate left patient records of people who were seen at Kern Medical, UCLA, and Sagebrush. 23 ABC's Tori Cooper has more on the medical records that made it into our newsroom and what standard policies Kern Medical says are in place.
Thousands of documents containing Kern Medical patient information made it into the 23 ABC newsroom.
I found them in drawers. I found them in cars.
Haley Jones says while she was dating her former roommate and ex-boyfriend Rishi Talwar, she would frequently find patient information around the home they were living in together while they were dating.
I thought it was very odd. I told him, like, I don't think you should take this stuff home.
Jones says after he left, she found at least 4 separate boxes like this one containing confidential and privileged Kern Medical patient information.
Patients' social security numbers, phone number, I mean, everything that you would need on these papers.
When I called Telwar and asked him why he took patient records home, he first told me, quote, I believe those records were stolen, end quote. When I asked him if he had anything else to say, he said, quote, I have no comment. I need to investigate this, end quote. Then he said in part that he wanted to recant his previous last statement. Telwar knew it was an on-the-record conversation with me over the phone. Kern Medical also later released a statement to us saying in part that Telwar graduated from their residency program in 2017. During that time, he was not permitted to take home patient information. They say they do not condone or permit this behavior. They prioritize patient privacy, and they are going to vigorously investigate the alleged behavior.
I also saw him write a lot of prescriptions for Adderall.
Jones has since filed a complaint with the California Medical Board about the medical records she found in her home. The board told 23 ABC News doctors and residents are not permitted to date their patients or write prescriptions for people they know and want to help out. The board also told us that physicians are expected to protect the privacy of their patients above anything, and records must be stored in a manner that does not compromise a patient's privacy. In the box, we also found this evaluation letter from Dr. Alan Scott addressed to Telwar, saying in part that due to the numerous complaints brought forth in the department, the Clinical Competency Committee found that he lacked professional behavior, did not comply with policies, and the committee was concerned with his wellness based on his behavior towards pharmacy staff, and his use of over-the-counter meds in the pharmacy were red flags.
What I hope to come from this is to protect other people and their privacy.
Dr. Telwar's license is also still active, and he appears to be practicing medicine in Rancho Cucamonga.
I'm Tori Cooper for 23 ABC News, connecting you.
Now, Jones wants to pursue legal action against Dr. Telwar, and she is currently looking for an attorney. Jones says she also knows Telwar harassed other women, and she hopes this encourages them to come forward and or reach out to the California Medical Board anonymously. You can find a link to file a claim on our website, turnto23.com. All right, let's turn now and take a look at a proposition that will be on Kern County ballots this March. Proposition 13 will authorize $15 billion in state general obligation bonds for construction and modernization of public education facilities. It would give $9 billion for preschool and K through 12th grade schools. It includes $2.8 billion for new construction, $500 million for charter schools, $500 million for career technical education, and $6 billion for public universities and community colleges. Advocates say funds are for essential repairs to make California public schools safer and healthier. Those against it say it will cost taxpayers $27 billion. There are two measures on the ballot. Measure D looks at the regulation and taxation of medical marijuana dispensaries. A yes vote supports authorizing medical marijuana dispensaries operating without conditional use permits in the county and imposing a 3.75% business tax per every $1,000 of gross income. A no vote would oppose that move. Measure E is also on the ballot for Kern County voters. A yes vote would authorize medical marijuana dispensaries operate with a conditional use permit in the county, just like Measure D, but would impose a 3.5% special business tax for every $1,000 of gross income. A no vote opposes it. And of course, we'll continue to provide you information so that you can make an informed decision this March. The election is set for March 3rd on Super Tuesday. We'll have all the information you need on candidates, propositions, and measures on our website, turnto23.com. 11 people have been arrested following a multi-agency gang violation operation in the Delano and McFarland communities. According to Delano police, the operation started around 7 this morning. More than 70 law enforcement officers participated in the operation, with more than 73 locations being targeted. The areas were chosen based on their history and membership within the northern and southern criminal street gangs or parole and probation status. At the culmination of this operation, officers arrested 11 individuals for various criminal violations. The ages of those arrested ranged from juvenile to 50 years old. We want to turn now to the latest on the helicopter crash that killed 9 people, including NBA legend Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gianna. The National Transportation Safety Board says it did not find any evidence of engine failure. A new report says investigators looked at pieces of the wreckage to determine what caused the aircraft to crash into a Southern California hillside in January. They didn't discover any internal issues with the engine sections. One witness told investigators he saw the aircraft emerge from clouds and it was moving forward and descending. Extremely foggy conditions created very limited visibility for the pilot, which was a factor in the crash. The NTSB said last week the helicopter was descending at more than 2,000 feet per minute at the time of impact. A memorial service has been announced for Bryant and the other victims. It's scheduled for February 24th at the Staples Center. The BPD is shining a light on a dangerous problem in a video posted on their social media pages. This video is a compilation of footage showing drivers running red lights and nearly avoiding what could have been a car crash. The caption reads, quote, "Please pay attention while driving. It only takes a second of taking your eyes off the road for your life to change." BPD also says, "We know all too well that not everyone gets lucky enough to only receive a ticket in the mail." Well, still to come on this special edition of 23 ABC News, stopping the presses to teach students about journalism.
It's taking them out of the classroom and taking them beyond a textbook and actually getting to ask those real-world questions. What is life like being a journalist? What is life like being on TV?
We'll tell you all about the annual Journalism Day held at Bakersfield College earlier today. Allison?
And the Condors just scored moments ago. I have more details on the score of the game and your full forecast coming up next.
Welcome back. Tonight, the Condors celebrating their 25th anniversary of the Bakersfield Fog. The team even sporting some old jerseys, and there are some special food and drink specials happening tonight. 23 ABC's meteorologist Allison Gargaro in the middle of it all, joining us live from Mechanics Bank Arena. Allison, it's got to be cold in there, but actually tonight outside, it's not that bad.
Yeah, it's really not bad out there. Yes, it is a little bit chilly in here. Everybody has those extra jackets on. The score right now is 3-8, and there's only a few seconds left in the second period. So they still have time to get some extra goals, but the energy is great in here. Outside, those temperatures, like you were saying, not too bad. In the low 50s here in Bakersfield. Some areas in the valley already dipping into the upper 40s, and we are tracking the 30s in the Kern County mountains. But as we head into your Saturday, those temperatures, again, above average with moderate air quality and AQI of 62. But